You ever try setting up direct deposit or a quick wire transfer, and bam, you hit a total wall because you can't find your bank's routing number? Yeah, it's super frustrating, especially when your banking is completely digital. You know your money is sitting right there, but you literally can't connect the plumbing to move it. Well, let's dive into this explainer and finally solve that exact headache for one of the absolute most popular high-yield accounts on the market.
Because here's the real challenge, right? Where do you even look for a routing number when your bank doesn't have any physical branches? Marcus by Goldman Sachs is a purely digital savings and CD setup. No checkbooks, no debit cards. You can't just drive down the street and ask a teller. So finding that crucial 9-digit code actually takes a very specific approach.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll briefly meet Marcus by Goldman Sachs, break down what a routing number actually is, show you exactly how to find yours, cover how to use it, and finally go over some troubleshooting and security.
Section 1. Meet Marcus by Goldman Sachs.
So the contrast here is pretty striking. Your traditional neighborhood bank offers checking accounts, hands out physical checkbooks, and has that brick-and-mortar branch you can just walk into. Marcus, totally different. Launched by the 155-year-old giant Goldman Sachs, it's a digital-only vehicle designed purely to gather deposits. They offer high-yield savings and CDs, but absolutely no consumer checking accounts. And because there's no checking, you can't just flip open a checkbook to grab your numbers.
Let's just cut right to the chase. If you need the primary number right this second, here it is, 1240-85260. For the vast majority of standard Marcus high-yield savings and CD accounts, which route through the Salt Lake City Federal Reserve, this is your primary 9-digit routing number. You're going to use this for domestic wire transfers, standard ACH transfers, and direct deposits.
But hold on, there's actually a super important secondary number you need to know about. 124085024. If you're using the alternative registration, or if you're one of the millions using the wildly popular Apple Savings account, which actually runs entirely on Goldman's backend infrastructure, this is the specific routing number you'll need to seamlessly move your funds.
Section 2. What is a routing number?
At its core, an ABA routing transit number is basically a unique 9-digit electronic address. And honestly, it's kind of fascinating to think this whole system was set up way back in 1910 by the American Bankers Association just to sort physical paper checks. Today, it directs all domestic electronic transactions. Think of it like a highly specific postal code. It guarantees your hard-earned cash actually makes it to Goldman Sachs Bank USA, rather than vanishing into the digital void or landing at a totally different bank.
And the anatomy of this code is pretty neat. It's not just random digits. Those first 4 numbers, that is the Federal Reserve routing symbol. For Marcus, that 1240 prefix instantly tells the automated banking system your money is routing through the 12th Federal Reserve District out in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is exactly where Goldman Sachs Bank USA is chartered. The next 4 digits specifically identify Goldman Sachs, and that very last number is a complex mathematical checksum used to validate the whole sequence and catch manual typos.
Now we absolutely have to talk about the difference between a routing number and an account number. Your routing number is totally public. It just points to the bank itself and is identical for everyone using that branch. But your account number, that is highly private. It's usually 8 to 12 digits, and it identifies your exact funds. It's literally the difference between finding the bank's front door using the routing number and unlocking your own private vault using your account number. You need both to do anything.
All right, Section 3, finding your routing number. The absolute easiest way to grab your exact numbers is online. Step 1, just log into the Marcus desktop portal or fire up their highly rated mobile app. Step 2, navigate to the account details section for your specific savings account or CD. You'll see a field labeled Account and Routing Number. Now, because Goldman is huge on security, those numbers are masked by default. So for Step 3, just tap Show after you pass your Face ID or multi-factor authentication, and boom, both your routing and unique account numbers will pop right up.
But hey, what if you're locked out of the app or offline? Don't worry, you've got solid alternative options. You can easily pull up a monthly PDF statement, the numbers are printed clearly right in the header, or if you ever used a physical check from an external bank to fund your Marcus account, check the bottom left of that piece of paper. That magnetic ink right there is your routing number. And if all else fails, you can securely call their 24/7 automated system at 1-855-730-7283, verify your identity, and have it read the code right back to you.
Section 4, using your routing number.
So where are you actually going to use the sequence? Well, alongside your private account number, it's a massive part of building your wealth. You'll give it to HR to route your paychecks via direct deposit. You can hand it over to the IRS to get your tax refund deposited way faster. You'll use it to pull funds into Marcus via ACH from your local bank. And if you're deep in the Apple ecosystem, this exact routing infrastructure is what automatically funnels your Apple Card daily cash straight into your high-yield savings.
There is, however, one huge limitation you need to keep in mind. Domestic transactions inside the U.S. use that 9-digit ABA routing number for all ACH transfers, but international transactions, those require SWIFT or BIC codes. And here's the kicker. Even though Goldman Sachs is this massive global powerhouse, your consumer Marcus account actually does not support incoming or outgoing international wire transfers. These routing numbers are strictly for domestic U.S. use. Try wiring money overseas with this setup and it's just going to fail.
Bringing it home with Section 5, Troubleshooting and Security.
Let's talk tech glitches. If you use Quicken for Windows to manage your personal finances, especially tracking Apple savings, you might run into the infamous OL221-A import error. Basically, when you try to download and import your monthly QFX file, it crashes. This happens because of a missing bank ID formatting tag on Goldman's end. So don't stress, you aren't doing anything wrong. Goldman Sachs support is fully aware of it, but you might have to enter things manually or call their tech support for a workaround in the meantime.
Also, your geographic location completely changes the game here. If you're tuning in from the UK, or maybe you're an expat, keep in mind the ABA routing system is strictly American. Your UK Marcus app will never even ask for a 9-digit routing number. Instead, the British system uses a 6-digit sort code along with an 8-digit account number. Just always double-check you're using the right credentials for wherever you actually live.
Finally, let's talk about keeping your cash locked down. Like we said, sharing your routing number is perfectly safe. It's public knowledge. But your unique account number? Guard that like the keys to your house. Always make sure you're on a secure network utilizing 128-bit SSL encryption when you log in. Avoid public Wi-Fi for banking. Seriously. And above all else, enable multi-factor authentication on your Marcus dashboard. That way, even if someone somehow steals your password, they are completely blocked without that secondary code going to your phone.
So before you hit send on that massive wire transfer or set up your next payroll deposit, please take a second to double-check those numbers directly with Marcus by Goldman Sachs or your certified financial advisor. One tiny mistyped digit can severely delay or completely misroute your money. It really makes you wonder, though, doesn't it? As our banking becomes entirely invisible and branchless, are we actually paying enough attention to the digital plumbing that controls our financial lives?